Okay, so recording is started. All right, more signals and emissions. Digital modes send digital data as opposed to voice or analog signals, and there's tons of different digital modes anymore. Remember earlier I told you that we had a request to bring in a radio so that people could hear what a QSO sounds like, and we arrange for somebody to answer the phone and talk, or answer the radio call and talk to us. We're going to do that another week, but this week was the emergency preparedness drill, and they decided that since the ARRL didn't put out specific, what they specifically wanted for emergency preparedness this time, they decided they were going to use digital modes. So that's what they're working on right now, and they were going to start off with a slower digital mode and work up towards a higher, faster ones. Okay, so digital modes send digital data as opposed to voice or analog signals. Packet radio was one of the first digital modes. 802.11, the standard for digital wireless networking. FT8 is a digital mode for weak signal contacts, and that's the FT is the initials for the guy or guys that developed it. PSK is phase shift keying, so PSK 31, and you're going to find out the 31 has a specific meaning a little later. A digital radio teletype mode. No, I'm on slide 2. I thought maybe I might have jumped ahead. A digital radio teletype mode for keyboard to keyboard contacts, PSK 31. APRS, automatic packet reporting system, sends GPS data. So it does have a very specific use for certain needs. A computer is required to modulate or demodulate the signals, and some transceivers can do this internally. To use this computer with my Xiegu radio, I have to have an external sound card. But some other radios like my 7300, it's already got that all built into it, so I don't have to have anything extra, just the cable. Which of the following is a digital communications mode? D, all these choices are correct. Packet radio sends messages as packets. Transmitted messages are divided into data packets. The received packets are reassembled into the original message. Packets for multiple destinations can be sent over the same link. Packets can be broadcast or sent to a single destination. Packets can be stored in a node and forwarded later. Store and forward. Packet headers contain destination addresses and includes a call sign. Packets contain a checksum, and we'll discuss that some more here shortly. The receiving station sends an automatic repeat request in the case of an error. So if the checksum doesn't match up, if something is out, it'll send an ARQ. Structure of a typical packetized telemetry frame. 64K. Okay, so data packets will be up to 64 kilobytes in length. And you'll notice you got primary telemetry, secondary telemetry, and the checksum at the end. And a Reed-Solomon is a type of check, right? Yeah. And if for something or another doesn't match up there, it'll send out a request to have it retransmitted. Which of the following is included in packet radio transmission? all. Let's see, a checksum that permits error detection, a header that contains a call sign, the station to which the information is being sent, an automatic request for in case of error, so that looks good. Some digital radio systems use special protocols for error-free communications. ARQ or automated repeat request, or ARQ, is such a protocol. A checksum is sent with each packet. The receiving station sends an ARQ if an error is detected through the checksums. The sending station resends the packet if that's necessary. What is an ARQ transmission system? C. An error correction method in which the receiving station detects errors and sends a request for retransmission. Automated packet reporting system, APRS, uses packet radio. APRS is used to send location reports from a mobile amateur radio station. APRS stations generally include a GPS receiver for position information. APRS stations can also send text and weather information, and that's I've actually seen that in use. We had a club meeting one day, and all the power went off over there around the area where we were, and a fellow sent an APRS text message to his wife at home, even though he had no cell signal. He used his APRS to send a text message to her. She got the text message, and the text message said, "What is FPL saying about the outage?" or something to that effect. And she sent him a text message back saying they're predicting 2 hours. So APRS can be used to provide real-time tactical information with a location map. And this is a map Bob showed to what are the WX? Is that part of the APRS thing? Okay. So anyway, there's some people like APRS, other people don't care much for it. And there's a guy I listen to on YouTube that just doesn't see the point in it. And he catches a... Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Which of the following is an application of APRS? A, providing real-time tactical digital communications in conjunction with a map showing the locations of stations. It's been a rough week and my tongue is starting to get tied. What kind of data can be transmitted by APRS? All of these D, let's see, you got GPS, text messages, and weather data. Sounds correct to me. All these choices are correct. PSK 31, remember I said we were going to get over to this, and I'll tell you what the 31 is all about. PSK is popular on HF, uses phase shift keying, or PSK, so that's where the PSK comes from. PSK signals are modulated by shifting the phase of the tone being sent. The 31 in PSK 31 represents 31 baud data transmission rate and 31 hertz bandwidth. So out of everything that we've talked about so far, PSK 31 has the narrowest bandwidth, right? PSK 31 uses a system called Varicode to represent characters. What does the abbreviation PSK mean? B, phase shift keying, correct. Digital mobile radio, or DMR, is a popular digital FM mode. They say it's popular, okay? This has been called every kind of name you can possibly imagine by everybody that's ever set one up. But once you get it set up, it's pretty fun because I've talked to people from, my wife is from Trinidad, and I've talked to a couple of people from Trinidad on that radio. I've talked to people in England. I've talked to people in, where else? I've talked to several people in Europe, but I can't remember any of the other countries now off the top of my head. But it was pretty cool to get to talk to someone from my wife's country, and it was pretty cool to get to talk to someone from England, because I haven't talked to anybody in England on HF. It uses time division multiplexing, TDMA, a 12.5 kilohertz repeater channel can carry 2 digital voice signals. DMR, now capable of, but everything is set up for, it's like, I can't remember which slot now, it's been so long, but every one that I've set up goes on the same time slot. Slot 2. That sounds right. DMR allows communication over multiple repeaters interconnected via the internet. So a lot of folks say this ain't ham, okay, because and I'll bring this when we do our radio demonstration, but there's a repeater just a few miles from here, a DMR enabled repeater. I don't know if I'll be able to find anybody, but we'll try. But because it goes on the internet, a lot of people say it's not ham. And you know, emergency situations, if the internet, if electric's out and the internet's down or anything like that, then you're still kind of stuck. Now, a lot of the repeaters have backup power and everything, so it might not affect them. Yes. Well, that's what the repeater does, if you communicate with the repeater. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Right. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You could reach people on the internet in an emergency situation that don't have a ham radio.
Right.
So that's why you would need internet.
Yep. Okay, so DMR allows communication over multiple repeaters interconnected via the internet. And there's more than one network. All of mine are set up on Brandmeister, but there's a couple of other networks as well. DMR allows creating virtual channels called talk groups. So I've got the 9100 talk group set up on there. I've got 91 set up on there. I've got 300, 3100 set up on there, several of them. A way for groups of users to share a channel at different times without hearing other users of the channel. Still doesn't mean it's private. You know, everything you put on there is still out there for the public to hear. Talk Group 91, by the way, on Brandmeister is the worldwide talk group. So that's where I find the people in Trinidad and England and Europe is on there. A way for groups or users to share a channel at different times without hearing other users. Which of the following describes DMR? A technique for time multiplexing 2 digital voice signals on a single, that sounds right. What is a talk group on a DMR repeater? B looks good. WSJTX is a software suite by Joe Taylor. Initially developed for deep space communications, WSJTX is used for the following: Earth, Moon, Earth. And remember, day one, I told you guys this is a real thing. I'm not just throwing it out there to make you laugh. It's a real thing. Earth, Moon, Earth, reflected off the moon and back. Meteor scatter, weak signal propagation. Basically, WSJTX is weak signal stuff. So implements the following low signal to noise modes: FST4, FST4W, FT4, FT8. FT8 is very, very incredibly popular. JT4, JT9, JT65, Q65, MSK41, MSK41, Meteor Scatter 144, Whisper. Whisper is important to be able to find where the propagation is. Echo and FT8, it says here FT8 is the most popular by any means. And this is a map that shows somebody's contacts. It looks like they were probably in Northern Europe somewhere, maybe. So anyway, which of the following operating activities is supported by digital mode software in the WSJTX software suite? All of these choices are correct. What is FT8? B, a digital mode capable of low signal to noise operation. Low signal to noise was the key. Mesh networking is a popular amateur radio activity. They are amateur networks utilizing commercial Wi-Fi equipment with modified firmware. They use Wi-Fi frequencies that are part of the 2.4, 3.4, and 5.8 gigahertz bands. They can support high-speed emergency communications. And I think there's some work going on in this area on that right now. A couple of the clubs are trying to get some things together for it. They can support high-speed emergency communications, broadband hamnet, and amateur radio emergency data networks, or mesh networks. Which of the following best describes an amateur radio mesh network? An amateur radio-based data network using commercial Wi-Fi equipment with modified firmware. That is correct. Digital communications mode. Okay, so this is your takeaways. If anybody wants to take a picture of it, we've got less than 5 minutes left. So if you want a picture of your takeaways, and there'll be one more page of it too. And the second page.